Today I'm going to be trying what could be the best fish and chips in the UK. So all the reviews of this place say it's amazing. So I thought, why not come and try it out for myself? So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And what is the name of this fish and chip shop? Well, let me show you. Okay, so this is it. Thompson's Famous Fish and Chips. It's in a bit of a strange location though, because it's out in the middle of nowhere on the side of this main road. It's not in a neighbourhood, in a town centre, or in a row of shops. It's beside this big busy road, which I think is a good sign, because it must mean that it's a good popular place with loads of customers. So this is the fish and chip shop. So you've got the restaurant on one side, which is on the left, and the takeaway on the other. I think because it's quite a decent day, I think I might go to the takeaway and eat outside. So let's head for the takeaway section down here. So I have now got my food, and you know what? I've ordered an absolute feast. Let me give you a closer look at what I got. Right, so this is my meal. Have a look at that. That is fish and chips. I don't know if I haddock, but I think they have cod as well. And look at the size of that fish. It's absolutely massive. There's some nice golden coloured chips underneath. I went for a battered sausage too, and just a small one, but you can get a large. Went for a couple of sides, so curry sauce, tartare sauce, mushy peas, and then something unusual, which is a pineapple fritter. Have you ever heard of that before? Pineapple fritter. So I'm going to have that for dessert at the end. But first, let's dig into this main meal. Check that out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go in for, I think, is the battered sausage. So there it is. Look at that. So that's just a small one. So not that big, but it is pretty thick. Loads of batter on that. Let's see what this tastes like. You know what? I don't know if it was a good idea to sit outside, because I'm beside this big, busy main road. So I don't know how loud it is or how well you can hear me. But that battered sausage, really nice. So the batter is really crispy on the outside. Yeah, a good crunch when you bite into it. A nice sort of oily fried flavour too. The inside is soft, juicy, maybe not the meatiest sausage. It's quite soft and fatty, but I think for a chip shop you need a fatty sausage, because I think those good quality, big meat content sausages, I'm not sure if it would work with this batter. But this, delicious. Right, next up, let's try the chips. So I did pre-salt and vinegar them in the shop before I got them out, but that is your standard chip shop chip. So golden colour, good size, feels kind of crispy on the outside. Let's go in for a bite. Okay, yeah, so that is your standard chip shop chip. Slight bit of a crunch on the outside, a little oily. The inside is soft and fluffy, good potato flavour in there, and good thick big chips. It's good chips. What I need to do though, I think, is try out some of the sides with it. So first up, let's go in for the mushy peas. So check that out. So I think this is a small portion, nice sort of green colour. You can see some whole peas in there as well. Let's dip it in a chip and see what that's like. You know what, the chip is kind of falling apart, but there it is, mushy peas with chip. Let's go in for this first combo. Okay, so that is some good mushy peas. It kind of tastes natural. So with some mushy peas it can feel a bit sort of artificial, but that tastes all natural. So good pea flavour coming through, a nice sort of mushy texture with sort of half peas in there and half mushed, and it combines well with the chip. Okay, next up, let's go in for the curry sauce. So chip in curry sauce. Check that out. You know what? Really thick. There's almost no run to this curry sauce. Just stays on the chip. Right, let's go in for this. It smells nice. So again, good curry sauce. You've got a nice kick to that. Bit of spice coming through. It's a little salty. You get some good curry flavour. Really thick. There's kind of almost no run to it, but it goes well with the fried crunchy chip. Nice curry sauce. Right, and let's go in for the last side that I got, which is their homemade tartare sauce. So you can get some pre-made ones in the sachet, but this is their homemade one. Let's go in for some of this. Again, pretty thick tartare sauce. Look at that. Again, almost no run to it. It just sticks on the chip. It was so thick it broke my chip. Look at that. Right, let's go in for a bite of this. Okay, so that is a great tartare sauce. So homemade tartare sauce is always better than the ones in the sachet, but this is a really thick one. Look at that. That is a massive dollop on that chip. So it's creamy, fresh, cold, a bit sour and tangy. I think there's got to be some maybe capers in there or gherkins, but you know what, it kind of does work well with the chip because the freshness of that tartare sauce, it just cuts through the friedness of that chip. Right, let's go on to the main event of this dish, the fish. And you know what, I got an absolutely massive one. I only asked for the standard size too, but if this is the standard size, I mean, I don't know if they do a large one, but how big would the large one be? Look at the size of that. It's huge. That's got to be like a foot in length. Look at the size of that fish. Let me give you a closer look. Nice golden brown coloured batter, really hot, crispy on top. You know what, let's cut off a piece to try. You know what, maybe I can just break off a piece and have a look at that. So check that out. Look at the fish in there. Thick bit of fish, really nice white colour, batter, golden brown, it feels crispy. Let's go for a bite of that. So that is a fantastic bit of fish there. When you bite into it, you get the crispy batter, which gives you a nice crunch, nice flavour to the batter as well. The fish in the middle of the haddock, that is soft and juicy, really juicy, and they made this fresh to order. So sometimes with fish and chip shops, when you bite into the fish, it can be a little bit dry and a little bit hard, but this fish is soft, moist and juicy. Look at that. That is some good fish. I've got to try a bit of the fish on its own because it's just so juicy and soft. So there it is. So this is haddock that I went for. I think they do cod as well, but you do get a nice fishy flavour. Like I said, the meat there, the fish, is so soft and moist. When you bite into it, it's juicy. That is some good fish. You know what, let's go in for a bit of the batter on its own too. So check that out. So I managed to get a bit of the batter, and you know what, it's not too thick. It's a pretty thin batter. Look how thin that is. Crispy on the outside. Look how solid that is. It's almost like a bit of scraps together, but that is the batter. Let's go for a bite of it. So there's a nice brittle crunch to that batter. Like I said, it's really thin. At some fish and chip shop places, the batter is really thick, but this is a thin, crispy one. So before I try out the pineapple fritter for dessert, let's go for some combos. So classic combo first, fish and chips with salt and vinegar. You can't beat a classic fish and chip combo, but I'm going to dunk it in some mushy peas and probably improve it. So there we go, fish chips, mushy peas. Right, let's go for a bite of this. Okay, so because the fish and chips is fried, deep fried, having anything else with it that's not deep fried kind of helps cut through it, and this mushy peas definitely does that. Okay, so next up we're going to go in for the curry sauce with fish and chips. So check that out, fish chips and curry sauce, and look how thick that is. It doesn't run, it droops. Check that out. Right, let's go for a bite of this. So the curry sauce just adds a bit of a creamy kick to it. So you've got the nice fish and chips with the salt and vinegar, and the curry sauce just adds an extra element of flavour. And have I saved the best combo bite till last, the homemade tartare sauce with the fish and chips. So check that out. That is a good looking bite. Right, let's go for that. You know what, I think the tartare sauce might actually be the best bite of the lot, the homemade tartare sauce, because the fresh creaminess of it and the sourness just cuts through the oily fried fattiness of the fish and chips. Right, okay, one last combo before we try out the pineapple fritter. I'm going to go in for a bit of the mushy peas and tartare together. So we get the fresh tartare sauce, the homemade fresh tangy sour tartare sauce with the mushy peas and fish and chips. Right, ultimate bite coming up. Here it goes. Okay, I lied. One last combo bite. So battered sausage and fish, some my surf and turf in some curry sauce. Right, this is the last combo. Let's go for it. It kind of works. Right, let's move on to the pineapple fritter. Okay, so here it is. Pineapple fritter. How unusual is that? So I've heard of deep fried Mars bars, I've heard of spam fritters, but never a pineapple fritter. So that is a pineapple ring battered and deep fried. So this is a bit of a contradiction really, because you eat fruit to be healthy, but then this fruit is battered. Okay, let's see how this tastes. Okay, so that is a bit unusual. So you bite into it, you get the crispy batter like you do on the fish and chips, and it kind of has that fish and chips flavour to it, but then you get the sweetness of the pineapple and the sort of stringy texture of it, and then the pineapple juices come through. Okay, so I think this pineapple fritter is the fish and chip shop version of pineapple on pizza. It's a little unusual, a little strange. I'm not sure if I'm the total fan of it. Let me go for another bite and see. So I don't think there's anything wrong with deep fried pineapple. I think it could taste good, but the batter just kind of tastes like fish and chips. I think if the batter didn't taste so fish and chippy, it'll be okay. But right now, questionable. Okay, let me finish up the rest of this meal and I'll go through the total cost. What a great fish and chips that was. Absolutely big portions. I am stuffed, really full. So the fish and chips, really tasty, really nice. The chips were good too, and battered sausage. The sides as well, all pretty good. But the pineapple fritter, that may be a bit questionable. I think that's probably similar to pineapple on pizza. So I think some people will like it, some people won't. But come and try it and see what you think. For me, I thought the batter kind of tasted a bit too sort of fish and chippy. So it had that kind of fish and chip taste, so it felt like I was eating the fish but with fruit inside. So a little bit strange, but try it and see what you think. Right, let's go through the costs. Okay, so for the roundup of the total cost, I've switched sides. Let's go through it. So the haddock and chips was £10.95, which I think is pretty average for a lot of places now, and that fish, as you saw, was massive, and the portion of chips too was massive, so you get a good value for money fish and chips here at £10.95. Got small mushy peas, which was £1.10, small curry sauce, £1.10 again, homemade tartare sauce, £1.20, which is pretty good too for that big portion. A small battered sausage, £1.25. I got the pineapple ring, which was £1.75, and the bottle of water at £1.40. So all in all, the total cost was £18.75, which for all that food, I think is decent value, pretty good. So that was Thompson's Famous Fish and Chips. What did you think? Was it good value? Is the pineapple fritter something you would order? Write it down in the comments below. And if you like the video, click on the thumbs up icon and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.